Okay, hi, I'm Maddie Shea. I teach first grade at Krista McAuliffe Elementary. I teach in the Shawnee Mission School District, which is in, Overland Park, Kansas. It's a large district. We have 33 elementary schools in our district, with, I think, 6 middle schools and then 5 major high schools, maybe 7 middle schools. Um, my school is about 350 to 400 students, ranging kindergarten through sixth grade. Um, the district itself has a really wide range of socioeconomic status and race and ethnicity, since it's so large and spans such a vast area. But my school itself is pretty in a suburban area with only under 10% free and reduced lunch. So that just gives you a little background about where I am. So for testing and then looking into how to close our gaps academically, we use a DIBELS, which has been recently renamed to Acadians, but we do that 3 times a year in the primary grades, and then from the third through sixth grade, they kind of decide if they're going to do it 3 times a year or just twice. We also use that to progress monitor, which helps us to identify gaps and areas where students are lacking. We use the MAPS test also in grades 2 through 6. We're not a title school, so we aren't required to do it K through 6, so we choose to do 2 through 6. And then, of course, the Kansas assessment for the older grades. Another way that we kind of identify where our students are struggling both in math and reading is with our curriculum assessment. So we use Wonders curriculum for our reading and then Engage New York for our math. So through those weekly assessments and then topic quizzes, we can identify areas where students are struggling and need intervention. Some other things, using that data helps us to sort into intervention groups. So we have both reading and math workshop times where we can pull students into groupings based on needs. We have a reading specialist, and our SPED teacher sees incidental general education students if they fit the needs of her special education students that she serves. So she has a couple of my students as well currently to help close their gaps. Otherwise, we have PLC time and monthly data meetings with that reading specialist and SPED teacher to help kind of go over students of concern or things that we maybe need to tweak or change for the next month, so that we can continue to improve and meet students' needs. That's about it for now.
So what's just for clarification, what are the desired outcomes for the elementary? For the learning to close those learning gaps?
Yeah, so desired outcomes, the main goal is for all the students to be reaching that benchmark goal, was what we call it, in reading. And then in math, it's a little more challenging because the DIBELS it's like an overall composite score kind of that they're trying to reach. So the main goal is for them to all be at that benchmark scoring level in both reading and math, and to not be in need of intensive tier 2 or tier 3 support. And so for them to remain in the classroom for all core instruction, both in math and reading, is the overall goal.
When you do data analysis with your PLC groups, do you have a protocol that you all follow?
Yeah, so our school and district actually are pretty new to PLC. This is our second full year kind of going full in on it, and the previous year had just been kind of in talks. So we're still kind of working on, because right now we don't even have a common data collection for all of this, except for, like DIBELS provides their own resources to enter scores online for them, but we don't necessarily have kind of like these assignments here had been making a specific sheet that collects all of the students' data. So I would say we try and just kind of pick a topic each week that we really need to focus on, and then each of the teachers will bring their scores, or students, maybe if we're focusing on intervention for the lower achieving students that week, then we'll just bring those scores and then talk about ways to help them.
So it sounds to me, from what you've said, from the desired outcomes to what you have or don't have, there needs to be a common data collection first, and then come up with a plan collectively within collaboration.
Yes. I would say that our main issue right now is getting all of that data in a central location so that it's easy to access and analyze for everybody that's involved. That would be the main thing. I think we're pretty good at talking about the data once it's been collected, but it's kind of all over the place right now. So that's our main issue right now.
Yeah. Does your PLC groups have goals or things that they want to achieve by the end of the year?
Yeah, so right now we were more focused at the beginning of the year on establishing like norms for our meeting and ensuring that we could all collaborate and talk openly. At my school, it's pretty new to be sharing all of this kind of data, and so some teachers have a harder time with that. And so that's kind of been more of the focus as of right now, but I think goals would definitely be somewhere we're headed so that we can make sure throughout the entire year we're working towards one specific thing.
What is that? Like, if they just narrowed it down, what would that one specific thing be? And what would you do to try to communicate that to those kind of reluctant workers?
I would say right now, first grade reading is so big. They're just learning to read and building all their foundational skills to be successful in the older grades. So I would say that my main goal for us would be to tackle our reading data and give those tier 2 and possibly tier 3 interventions effectively and constantly review that and change as necessary. That would be my main goal for us, not like as a team, but as, that's what we're trying to accomplish together. I think my team in general is pretty open. We have a new teacher and then myself who's a third-year teacher and then more of a veteran. We're pretty open to data sharing, but it's just as a building, just kind of a culture shift. So I think just practice and then just keeping a flexible, open mindset and also being a model for that is a good way to kind of get everybody on board and make sure they're comfortable. All right. Is that all? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.